Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to the journey with the influence, the encourager. I am Trivia Payne, and I have two amazing guests with me tonight. So, what I'm going to allow them to do is to introduce themselves and tell you what they do, and I'll tell you what they do collectively. Okay, so we want to start with Miss Barbara. She's at the top. Miss
All
Barbie.
right. Hello, 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 everyone. I'm Bobbie Johnson, one of the book breakers. And what I do is podcasting with my co-host who will introduce herself. I'm also an author, a publisher. I ghostwrite for other people, and I've already published 10 books of my own with 6 more coming out.
Awesome. And Miss Tisha.
Amazing. Yes, I'm also another book breaker. I'm a co-host with Bobbie Johnson. We both host our show, the Bookbreakers podcast. I'm also an author of 3 books. The Hopeful Romantic, Just a Thought, and my journey here was not easy. And I'm also a Newsom Award winner for Most Beautiful Woman. And Bobbie also is a Newsom Award
See,
winner for her
you're
books.
supposed to introduce you.
I know.
All right. Thank you, book breaker.
Woo!
I love it, especially being a 10-time contributing author. I haven't written my own book yet, but
Uh-oh.
being a 10-time contributing author, I definitely understand where you all are coming from and just the heart and the passion that you have to reach the world and the community. So I just want to just go ahead and go straight into it
Oh, go
because
into
I
it.
love what you do. I love the podcast inside of it. And I'm just gonna say a little bit. I did get the little sneak peek about how y'all got started, but can
Okay.
you tell everybody how you all got started with the book breakers?
You want to
Go
handle
ahead,
that, Tisha?
Barbie. You want
Well,
me to,
how
you
we
want because
got
mine's
started.
gonna be funny.
Oh
Okay,
my
well,
God.
it's kind of funny. Miss Trivia, me and Barbie, we actually started off as teachers in the Head Start program. I was
Mm-hmm.
Barbie assistant teacher, and we actually Barbie stopped teaching. So during that time, we were still friends. She published my book. So this is a funny story. We stopped speaking for a while. So God have a sense of humor. He kept telling me to call her. I said, I'm not calling her. She don't have to call me. I said, I get tired of keep
No.
on trying to make peace with people. But God had me call her. And we went to Security Square Mall. Barbie, she wanted some shoes. So we went there to get some shoes from
Sure did.
Burlington. Yeah, she wanted some shoes. So we saw these flashing lights. And I was like, Barbie, what's down there? I said, it looked like an arcade center. I said, let's go down and play some
Mm-hmm.
games. So when we got there, it wasn't an arcade. It was the Coyote Man Show Network. And we also, during that time, when we got there, we scheduled a photo shoot. So during that time, the Coyote Man asked us that we want to do a podcast because Barbie at the time was a publisher and author, and I was the author. And that's how it all started. The Coyote Man gave us the name, the Book Breakers.
Mm-hmm.
I love
And we
it.
stuck with
So,
it ever since.
go ahead, Miss Barbie.
We stuck with the name ever since. So
Yeah.
we're getting trademark for us. That's our trademark name.
I love it. I love it. When I met Tisha, I was at a prayer breakfast,
Yes.
and I don't really talk. And when we
Oh.
were talking, I was like, "Oh yeah, we need to bring you on our program because what what I love is we're doing the same work. We're not in competition with one another, but we support each other. We
Absolutely.
encourage each
Absolutely.
other. And as an author, that's like my heartbeat because that's when I'm able to express myself and I'm able to bring others on the journey with me. So our show is called The Journey. So I'm going to start one at a time. And Miss Barbara, you're at the top of my screen. So I just want to ask you, what was your starting point, not as an author, not as a publisher, and not even as a podcaster, but what was your starting point to help you to get from, okay, I'm transitioning into this new role of being a community figure and being a figure to many? How did you get started with that? What was your mindset when you had to move in that direction?
Okay. My mindset was actually it was kind of with my sister. She kind of pushed me into keeping a journal of my life. She said, "Girl, your story, said your life is should be a book." I'm just saying, but I'm gonna skip over all that other stuff, and that's how I got started with the books because she kept pushing me, and I needed that push. And but getting off into the community, that was in my church. We started feeding the homeless and hungry under the what is that, the A3 bridge in downtown Baltimore. Um, so we would go there. Actually, we were invited to come and help serve. So that's what we did. And it became so big that it branched out into other cities and other states. And they couldn't, because they started doing it every week, but they had to cut it back to once a month because it became so large and so huge. And but the I just have to say the volunteers, it was awesome. The camaraderie everyone had to come on one accord in unity to help make it a success. They donated. I mean, businesses donated stuff, and it's kind of hard to get businesses to donate anything. But they donated stuff. They gave clothes. They gave food. A lot of people saying, "We're just going to drop this off, and how else can we help? And where will you be next time, or will you be here?" Because they followed us wherever we were. But that was my hand and how I got started with being active in the community was through the church and being invited out. And I'm telling, it's an awesome experience, one that I
I
treasure.
love it. I
Yeah.
love it because a lot of people think, oh, because you're behind the screen, you're not really doing a lot, and
Oh,
they
Yeah.
think because you're an author, you're not doing a lot. But Tisha, man, when I say I look at the people that she's connected with, and I'm like, okay, you have some kind of connections in these streets, and you know how to get things done. Tisha, how did you get started with working in the community?
Well, just like Barbie, God have a sense of humor.
yes.
I I think most of the time, we're gonna say all the time, to God be the glory. And I had to, I got tears in my eyes right now because when I was a little girl, my aunt, she passed away when she was 100 years old. I was 9 years old, helping her in the soup
Mm,
kitchen, serving the
mm,
community, putting the silverware on the table, and little things like that. You really think they really don't matter, but it really enriched my life to see how much she was, pulling out and pushing, helping the people in the community. I would help her, stir up the soup for the people, take the soup to the table. And actually, I went to Patterson High School, and actually, I was in a program called the Key Club. So it
mm.
was like we would help the community. We would always go out, we would rake leaves, take up trash in the community. So I think God started that early in my life and doing outreach in church. I was always on the outreach
All right.
team, going out in the communities.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about by foot.
And
Yeah.
still doing it today.
Yes, by foot, helping people in the community. And that's where the journey always started.
Mhm. Oh, but can I
First of
add
all,
this one?
wait a
Can
minute,
I
Miss Paul,
add
because
this
I
one?
gotta tell her, don't be talking about
Okay,
Patterson in
go
here
ahead.
because this is like all day. But go ahead, Miss Barbie.
Oh no, I just wanted to add a funny story that Tisha and I were helping at a oh um it was a men's unit group. We would help
Yes.
feed. But I just wanted to say that. And so the guy asked teacher, he said, "What's your name?" He said, "My name is Denise." She didn't tell her real name. And then the man came, he came back, he was saying, "Denise, Denise." Then I said, "Denise, you hear him talking to you?" But she forgot who she was. She forgot who she said she was. I said, "Denise, you hear him calling you?"
That is so funny
Oh my God.
because
No, it was just fun. It was fun.
it is. And I remember we
And we
used to do that
enjoyed
back
serving.
way
Mhm.
back
Yeah.
in my day where we would go somewhere and people would meet us on the street. We were like, oh, my name is Keisha. No, it ain't. But
Thank
yeah,
you.
Miss Tisha, I really apologize because you weren't feeling that pain attention. But I'm just saying, I'm a leaker. I'm just saying. Uh, that was our arch one of our arch rivalries.
Yeah.
But really, coming from the city schools, and I'm going to start with you, Miss Tisha, because we're going to find out what kind of schools Miss Bobbie went to. But coming from
Wasn't city.
Baltimore City public schools and becoming an author, what was your first thought when you published your first book?
When I first published my first book, because a lot of people, I really don't think they realized it. I mean, everyone has different journeys, but I'm not gonna say they lied to you. I wasn't good. I mean, my grammar was not that good. Even in high school, I could write papers. I could always argue real good. But my teacher told me one time, "What are you saying?" And actually, when I attended college, I failed English 101 3 times.
Oh, stop.
3 times. I was like, God, I'm just gonna give it up. And God said, you have to go back. So I failed 3 times with an F. The fourth time I took it, I passed with a C. But it was perseverance. And look at me now.
All
You
right,
only
girl. Woo
failed it three
woo!
times. I
From the
think I
book
failed it
breaker.
5 or 6. I
Yeah.
don't even know how many. But to look back and be an author now, it's like I didn't think I could do it, but now look at me now. Okay, the same question for you, Miss Bobbie.
Mm,
Coming from the public school systems and now becoming an author, how do you feel about that? What was your thoughts?
mm, um, mm. Well, coming from the public school system, I didn't even think about that. But um, my thought was when I was writing the book, like I said, my sister had to push me because I didn't want
Yeah.
to do it. I really didn't. And I had stopped. I had quit. Yes, I did. And then a friend girl of mine asked me to go to church with her. And when we get there, the first person the prophet called out was me. He said, "You, come here." He said, "Did you finish writing that book?" I said, "No." I knew what he meant when he was saying it. I said, "No." Then he said, "Why?" I said, "Well, it was me. I just didn't think anybody would read it." He said, "No, no. The enemy made you stop because he wants you to shut your mouth. He wants to
Yeah.
silence your voice." And then he said, God said, "Write that book and tell your addiction." I knew what he meant when he said that. My addiction was not drug or alcohol, but you got to get the book to find out what it was. So, but from when I finished, oh, that reminds me. I also Tisha invited me to a church,
Yeah.
and it was a female prophet that said, God said, finish that book this year. I said, oh God, Jesus. I had to day and night. I did it. October, I believe I finished it in 2014 and got it out there. But I did not feel like an author until I had the actual book in my hand. That's when it became reality to me,
Yeah.
for me. And I said, "Oh my God, I'm an author." Wow. I was a little bit in disbelief, but then I thought about it. I said, "Okay, God, this is hard work." But then I liked it after that. And I started writing other books. So and got them published.
And that's
But
in
now it's a
itself is an
bug.
addiction.
hmm Yep. hmm
That in itself is an addiction. So
Yep.
when I think about like the correlation between being an author and being a podcaster, how do you all bring that together? Because the name of your podcast is Bookbreakers. So how do you bring that together?
Okay, well, Bookbreakers was given to us. I said, yeah, that's right, because we are authors, and publishers. So yes, we got to break these books open. Not only we don't just serve people who have books. We serve
Yes.
anyone that has anything to put out there in front of the audience or into the public, not just the audience, to the public.
and
Mhm.
to share their story because everyone has a
Yes.
story. Because I
Yes.
know that my first podcast I went on, and it's funny, I'm still in contact with the lady now, Miss Eldell Banks, and during that time I was
Oh.
writing my book. I didn't even have a book yet, but she said, "Come on anyway to tell your
Mhm.
story." And actually, she came on our podcast like 3 years ago. So it's all about not just being an author and a publisher in the book breakers. It's about expanding your
Right.
territory with people that could come on to share their story. So we loved what we do. We love
Yes.
serving the community, gospel singers, movie producers. Come on over. And we
Oh,
also
come on.
share. And I love Trivia Pain because we collaborate with one another.
Amen. I love it.
Yes.
I love it.
Amen.
I love it.
Mhm.
And I think about again some of the people that I see that you all interview and some of the community workers that I see you all work with. And I think about this show. This show is called The Journey, right? We all started from
Yes.
somewhere. We are all actually in a particular place right now, and we're all going somewhere. So that's our journey. And when I hear you say, "Hey, it's an L podcast is not just for authors. L podcast is for whoever will." I think about the fact that, like, with this radio station, this broadcast network, I've been now named the queen of platforms
All
because
right.
my mindset is you might have your own platform. You may have just social media. You may just have a podcast. You may just have um, Facebook Live. But the goal for me is to make sure that everybody can hear. So if you have one platform and I have five platforms, now you got six platforms. And
Hey.
that's what I hear you saying with your podcast. Like, I'm bringing you on. I don't care how famous you are or not famous you
Mm.
are. I just want to get you out there and get you exposure.
Yes.
So I'm
Yes.
going to put somebody on the spot. Either one of you can answer of your guests because you all are doing a thing. You're having your podcast feel like every day, but it's like weekly. But you always have somebody. Who is one of your most influential guests that you've had on your show?
Oh.
Not me, I know I am, but who?
All
Woo!
right. Okay. Besides you, I would have to say, oh God, it's kind of hard. Dr. Newsom and
Yes! I
oh my God. Um, that's not to short or cut anybody else off, but he really has been influential and he still pushes us to keep going
Yeah,
and go forward. He encourages us to do that. So he's been most influential.
yeah.
I love it, and I feel like Tisha is in agreement because I ain't hear the scream like
Yes, it was
that.
burning on my tongue.
Oh my God.
But I absolutely love what he's doing because
Yes.
I believe Tisha introduced me to the platform of Dr. Newsom.
Oh
And
yeah.
ever since then, I've seen him on different stuff down at Lexington Market and things. And I'm like,
Hmm.
this man is really out here doing, handling his business. But what I love
Exactly.
about when we bring others on our show or our interviews or our podcast or whatever it is that we're doing at the time, not only are we allowing the public to get to know these individuals, they're pouring into us. So as I'm
Yeah.
sitting here and I'm listening to you all, and I'm like, okay, so when I get off of here, how can I make mine better? Let me talk to Tisha and Miss Bobbie and see how I can make mine a little bit better. What is your position? Because I love this question. What is your position on we're all going to be at this table and we're all going to feast off of the next one? Do you agree or do you disagree with that statement?
Wait, repeat that again. I got to make
Yeah.
sure I got it
So
right.
we're all able to feast off of each other's work. Do you agree with that statement or not? And let me put it a little bit in a different context, right? So a lot of times we have podcasters, we have social media influencers, we have musicians, and everybody is in their own corners, and they want to keep it to yourself, their selves.
Oh,
Do you agree that we should share the wealth, or do you think that we should keep it to ourselves?
Oh, whew.
hey,
I
by
said,
all means, go ahead. Go ahead.
oh yes.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yes, I actually think we could share the wealth because there are so. I mean, me and Marby, we always talk about this. There are some wonderful podcasts out there, even better than us. But guess what? when we all come together, we can always share that wealth of information because your podcast
Yes,
might have
sir.
something that we need. And our
Mm-hmm.
podcast might need something that you want. So I just don't like the people when they're so selfish. We don't have no problem sending guests to another podcast.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
That
Mm-hmm.
part, because I struggle with that because I feel like a lot of times we're just holding everything for
Yeah.
ourselves.
No.
And I think I just sent someone your direction, and I'm like, hey, this person needs to do an interview. Sometimes it could be my show may not cater to an individual,
Yeah.
or
Mm,
what I do, I may not have the time, or I can interview that person and you can interview that person,
right.
and whatever that statement is they're trying to get off. So I kind of struggle a lot of times because they're like, hey, you have to do this way, and you shouldn't share the
Mm-mm.
information because somebody's going to take your idea. And I'm like, but we all can eat. So
Yeah.
that's
Yes.
why I think that it's really, really important. And Londa said, yes, I agree. Because we all have a place. And one of my biggest pet peeves is not for when others don't realize that when God gives us vision, he gives us provision, right? So
Yes.
he might have gave
Exactly.
me the same vision that he gave you, but he's going to give it to us in different ways to
That's.
produce it. So I love that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to take up your time because this is about y'all telling your journey. So my next question for you two is, and either one of you can answer, or both of you, but my next question for you is, who is your biggest mentor slash motivator in the industry? And it could be the author side, it could be the podcast side, it can even be the publisher side.
Mm, still the biggest motivator. I still have to go with Dr. Newsom.
Yes! I was
Oh my God.
thinking that too.
Oh
Woo!
my
Okay, so
God.
this is just the Newsom Awards in reverse. We all are just giving Mr. Newsom his flowers while he can see them. I love it.
Yeah.
Um, so who do you think that you motivate the most?
I would say,
Ooh.
ooh, that it's a lot of people. Well, from what I hear, um, guys, guys and female said we like what you're doing. Keep up the
Yeah.
good work because you help us to grow. Hey, because you God gives us our talent, gifts and talents that we can
Yeah.
help others, not to keep it to ourselves. So, and we never know whose lives we're touching, even by what we're presenting or what we're talking about, um, how it might impact someone else. So we never know that.
Oh, I had something else to say too.
Okay, go ahead.
Um, a couple people that came on our podcast, and to God be the glory. A lot of people that came on our podcast, as soon as they went off our podcast, God will just give them so many awards. They be going and
Yep.
getting so many succeeding. So
Yeah.
we're just so in awe of what God is doing in their lives. And God said, as we push them, He's going to push us.
Mhm. And we're not
Well,
jealous about it.
No.
look, I'm being pushed to go to Augusta in September, so I ain't saying nothing. I'm
Go,
just
girl, you go. Yes.
well, that was after I came on your podcast. So I agree with you, Tisha.
Yeah.
But it
Yes.
did help me to realize, and I had to say this to somebody else. It's hard when you're getting my bad. It's hard when you're getting the accolades or when you're stepping outside of the box because it's like, well, who am I? I'm not anybody important or in particular. And I will honestly say, when I got nominated for the Speak Up Sis Award, I had seen that
Oh.
thing for years,
Ah,
Mm.
but it helped me to again identify I'm an actual author because in my mind for years I was like, I'm just a contributing author. I'm not an author. I wrote in these books, but it's not my own book. And when I spoke to the young lady about the award that I am now a finalist for, she said, well,
okay.
I was on your social media. See, we don't give ourselves enough credit. And that's why I
Yeah.
said, who are we motivating? Not only who is motivating us, but who are we motivating? And I love the concept that you all do. You don't just hold everything in for yourself. Like I love when I see Tisha posting stuff about Cherie Rogers,
Mm-hmm.
who's out here in the community. And when I see your post, Miss Barbara, it's like, okay, yeah, now you're on my show. Now we're family. We're gonna make sure that we put
Yeah.
you out here. We want to make sure that people know that what you're doing, and I think that that's amazing. Um, so let's shift gears a little bit because one of the things I love to do is ask a trivia question. I'm trivia,
Oh,
by the way.
Okay.
So,
I
okay.
thought we were going on Jeopardy.
yes, and I'm a cheat a little bit, but either one of you can answer this question. And we want to say thank you to Miss Londa because she said congratulations. Um, so, my trivia question for you two
Thank you.
is name one of the days that I trivia have a show on Trivia's Inspirational Radio. Do, do, do.
Do,
Tuesday.
do. Oh my
I
God.
knew it was going to be easy. It was going to be easy.
Do I
All
get
right. So don't ask anymore now. No. Oh my God. No.
I have to let y'all really get inquisitive about trivia because I might be doing anything. So this is where I pause and I say, if you are watching, if you are listening, if you are on Roku TV, wherever you may be listening to this at, Trivia's Inspirational Radio is amazing. It is 24/7 music.
Yeah.
However, Trivia's Inspirational Broadcast Network, you are going to find us on all social media platforms, on two YouTube channels, and on Roku TV, and over 18 different
All right.
podcasts. So I just needed to put
Woo.
that plug in about me because trivia is
Yeah.
amazing. Um,
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome.
I love Roku.
yes. Oh, go on there, Trivia's Inspirational
Oh
Radio.
God. Hmm.
Um, so I bet it's about y'all. So we're gonna talk about y'all journey. We're not gonna talk about me no more, I promise. Um,
No, that's okay. Hey, we can share.
Yeah.
so this is gonna be Samaya. Oh yeah, and let me say we do have two more guests coming on at 7:30 tonight
Oh,
because when God told me to do this, he told me to have two segments. I didn't think I was going to have two segments, but he knew
mm,
otherwise. So we'll be back at
Yeah.
7:30. But back to y'all for real.
mm.
Miss Barbie, can you tell us about the 10 books? You don't have to tell us all of them, but tell us some titles and why they should go get them.
Okay, I don't know if you can see it.
Hmm.
This is my book this is my life story. That's the one the Lord told me to write and tell my addiction from trial to affliction. That's the one with all the secrets. It's told out. It's out there. My life is an
Ooh.
open book. Read it. And where you can get it from, I took them off Amazon because Amazon was eating me up. Sorry, Amazon. Anyway, created my own website. It's at bjpublishing.com. That's BEEJAY. bjpublishing.com. And you can see the books there, right there, or order them if you like. And my other books, I don't know if you can see that. Am I putting that the right way? And that's dating tips for single Christian women. I'm working on the one for men since they said they needed one since the women have one. I said, okay, no problem. So I'm interviewing men as to their opinion about how they date women. You have to get out there and do the legwork. Anyway, this is the one I was talking about, Under the Bridge. That's where we were feeding the homeless. And the stories that I've written, they're all actual true to life stories. This is the one in the church, but hurting because a lot of people are suffering in silence instead of letting out the hurt, letting people know because they feel ashamed, men and women. You don't have to be ashamed of what you're going through, whether you're battered, abused, on substance, whatever. There are resources, there's help. You don't have to suffer alone or in silence. And these books are dedicated to my sister who passed away. Um, she penned most of these are poetry books. What is this? Spiritual guidance, spiritual inspirations, and spiritual inspirations too. I'm putting it the wrong way. But anyway, those were in memory of her because she passed away. And then when the COVID came, I don't know if you could see the thing. It says the quiet before the storm, the second wave, the aftermath of COVID-19. And this is when I co-authored Born to Die. And it's talking about two deaths, spiritual and natural. And it's talking about the one who was born to die for all of us, which is Christ. And there are some people who give their lives, like police officers, firemen, doctors, nurses, because sometimes they end up dying under certain conditions. I'm just saying, because firemen rush into a fire and it's not guaranteed that they're going to come out. I'm just saying. But God, thank you for firemen, police officers, doctors, and nurses. And my other book, Talk It Out. It's about bullying. That people need to speak up about bullying if they're being bullied in any fashion, whether it's cyberbullying or cyberbullying or bullying or and being abused by a bully. Just talk it, let someone know. Don't try and suffer in silence. There's help. There's always help. And those are
I
the books
love
I have.
I love it. And your graphics are amazing. Let me
Yes.
start
Thank
there
you.
because I'm like, wait a minute. All of those book covers had me in awe. Like, I need that book. Um, so I put them on the screen for anyone who's watching. You can pick up her book at www.beejaypublishing.com. And Miss Tisha, let's talk about your books.
Can I say something funny real quick?
Absolutely.
One of Bobbie Johnson books. I'm a model for her book.
Oh,
What book
get
is that,
out, get
Bobbie?
out.
In the church we're hurting. That's actually me on
Yes.
the cover, but she put some
She's
weave
on the
on my
cover.
head.
Shut up,
Okay.
get out.
I had to put it
I
up there. I'm
sure
sorry.
did. I
Okay.
sure did. Oh my
But
God.
yes, I thank God for the 3 books He has given me. My first book, Just a Thought, is a poetry book. Actually, my first book is published by awesome Bobbie Johnson, a poetry
No,
book.
thank you. Thank you.
My second book, The Hopeful Romantic, is also a poetry book. I don't know if you can see it or not. And it's on Amazon.com. The book and the ebook is on Amazon.com. And my third book, My Journey Here Was Not Easy, My Life Story. And it's also on Amazon.com, the book and the ebook. And this year, I'm so enlightened what God is doing in my life. I'm a visionary author with Melanie Bonita, and the book is called The Daily Dose of Prayer Book, where I put on an excerpt of a prayer in the book.
All
So
right.
that is also going to be available. It's also available now on Amazon.com. I'm actually a visionary author for that book, and I'm also working on 3 books, 2 children books, and a second series to my book, The Hopeful Romantic.
Oh, you go, girl.
I'm having whole conversations all by myself, but that's okay. You know, 'cause I'm still trying to figure out how to get my own book out there. I got a couple projects that I'm working on, and I'm just like, okay. But I know who I'm getting ready to call for some ghostwriting. Do you? All right.
Yeah.
This is for the world, Miss Bobbie, in real life. When you ghostwrite, is the author actually writing their own stories, or are you actually writing it based off of what they tell you? Because I don't know.
It's both ways. You can tell me the story. I mean, because
Mhm.
then I'll write it out for you. But if you have already, some people already have like they started writing in a tablet and they would give that to me and I'm to finish it. so my name does not appear except the business. That's it.
I'm
And
lazy.
you are the author. That's it. You're the
I'm
somebody asked
lazy.
you, did
I
you write this?
promise.
Yeah, it's your book. It's yours.
I
Yeah.
promise I'm lazy. I had somebody, I said, okay, I'm going to ghostwrite because I already got my stuff written. I just don't want to do it. And
Oh,
they were like,
oh,
okay, give me this template. Well, I might as well write my own book. I don't want to. But I'm just
oh my
saying,
God.
oh, yeah, I'm going to have a book written in 2024 of my own.
Woo!
I'm
All
just saying,
right
I've been
now.
working. I've been working.
Yeah, you can
But
do it.
we
You
have
can
a
do
few
it.
more minutes left. What I normally do at this time, and I'll give you both up to 5 minutes each, is I take this time and I say, you know what? We talked a whole lot. And I asked all the questions. I don't want to ask questions. So you can give us your last 5 minutes of whatever your heart content. It could be 4, 5, 3, whatever amount of minutes, but you
Mhm.
tell us what you want us to hear. Who wants to go first?
Okay, I will go first.
Yeah.
So, um, what I want everyone to take away from this is that never to give up on your dreams, because you don't know who may be depending on that word that's inside of you, because what you've gone through, it matters. I mean, because it grew you, it did something to you, it strengthened you because you're still here, you're still above ground. So what your dream is, don't let your dream die. Get your dream out there. Whatever it is, whether it's that business, whether it's like you said, Miss Trivia, that book, get it out there. The next person is waiting on that story. They're waiting to hear how you made it through something that they may similarly be going through. So they need a step. It's like a stepping stone to help them get over, um, how do you say, the hump, the rise, or whatever, so that they can walk on solid ground and know that they can make it, because you got encouragement behind you, you got encouragement in front of you, and there's someone that needs your story. Get it out there.
Ooh, I love that. But can I add something?
Add it.
There's always going to be someone who disagrees with your story, and be okay with that because
Eh,
somebody else, that one person, is waiting to hear your story. So I
mhm.
just love that because I needed to say that because I was discouraged so many times. And
Yes.
Miss Londa said the same thing. I didn't even look at her message. She said, don't let the lack of support discourage you.
Hmm.
Think
Yeah.
of it as the right door waiting for you because I would not be here if I didn't stop so many times because somebody told me I couldn't do it, or because somebody
Hmm.
told me what I was saying was the wrong thing to say.
Hmm.
And eventually I got tired of hearing the wrong people tell me that I was saying the wrong thing and
Hmm.
began to freely speak because God gave me a voice. And in the words of my
Yes.
cousin, Shawnee Wallace, she said, God gave me a mouth and I'm a talk. So,
Hello.
Miss Tisha, your turn.
Hello. You said my
Tisha.
turn? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought you said. I'm sorry. I was busy listening to Barbie. Yes. My encouraging word for someone tonight is a lot of people don't know me and Barbie. Our journey was very tough, and I mean, some of the things that people really didn't think we went through, we had went through.
Mhm.
During the time when me and Barbie were on the podcast, during that time, I was homeless. I was living with my father and my stepmother, and I didn't have a home, so I was homeless. But that did not discourage me. I had to keep on pushing. Some days Barbie would
Yes.
have to pick me up from my home at my father's house to go to the Coyote Man Show network. I would have to catch a Uber. So for 3 years, we had sacrificed a lot. And people see
Yes.
all the glitz and the glamour now, but it has been a tough road. But I just want to
Mhm.
encourage someone to never give up. If God has given you a vision, run with it, and God will
Right.
have you to do everything that you need to do, and He will even send you to people that need to support the vision with you.
Yes. Absolutely.
I absolutely love it. This has been an amazing interview. I know I have to bring y'all back because
Yeah.
we out of some time because the enemy said no. I was
Oh.
actually telling myself we can't
Woo.
give people all that credit, but God showed up and showed out. I love
Yes, he
this
did.
interview. I love
Yes. Amen.
people who are out here in the trenches and doing the work. So we definitely have to bring you all back, you two back.
Oh,
Um,
thank
but
you.
can
Thank
you
you.
tell them as I begin to play this last song how they can watch or hear the book breakers?
Go ahead, Barbie.
Oh, go ahead, Tisha. They can they can join us live on Facebook or to where are we? YouTube. And we're coming to I can't even think of the other
StreamYard.
one. We're on
StreamYard and
StreamYard
TikTok.
already, but I mean the one that start was the L. So, oh God. Um I can't even think of the
LinkedIn,
name. Just look
LinkedIn,
for us. I'm sorry, say again?
LinkedIn.
No, not that one.
Okay.
I can't. I'm sorry. It escapes
Oh,
me right now.
well,
The
catch
name.
them on Facebook and YouTube because the
Yeah,
book
we on
breakers is
Facebook
amazing. Facebook
and
Hmm.
Instagram.
and Instagram.
Yes,
So
and
look for
YouTube.
Bobbie Johnson on Facebook. Look for Miss Tisha Winkler on Facebook. You will not be disappointed. They have amazing guests. And I am excited because I will be back here in the next 30 minutes with our
Woo!
another amazing group, our Hustle Queens, who are out here
All
promoting
right.
women businesses. So
Amen.
tune
Yes.
in at 7:30, same place, same locations. If you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, if you're on StreamYard, we will see you because you don't want to miss it. You thought you wanted to miss
Absolutely.
this. The enemy thought he wanted y'all to miss this, but y'all showed up.
Hey,
So
thank
we're
you.
gonna go out with a little bit of Michelle Williams. And thank y'all. Thank y'all for being my guest.
Thank you
Thank
so much for
you.
having us.
We enjoyed it.
Thank you.
When Jesus said